You up, brother? I had a children's Bible. In fact, this is that you know what I'm saying. I was just pulling stories out of. I'll read from this, and basically it got. But you can use it if you want. Not, but this is when I first started teaching you. This is what I was using. But, if you want. Okay.
So we live?
Yep, you good, man. You good.
Shabbat Shalom, family. I'm Brother Sharath. Today, as a children's lesson, the title today is idolatry. Many times we often think that idolatry is, what we see in the scriptures where they're creating this idol and they are bowing down to an idol. But you'll find out through the course of this lesson that idolatry is what you give your energy to, how much energy you put into a certain thing or a certain someone. All right. So can I ask the young adults to move to the front, please? How you doing, sir? Okay. Can y'all move to the front, please? How you all doing today? All right. Shalom. Shabbat shalom. How's your day going? Pretty good. Okay. All right. So open up with Exodus 20 and verse 3.
Book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 3. You shall have no other powers before me.
You should have no other powers before me. So that's the first thing. That's the first. That's one of the main commands. We haven't even gotten to the part where he's saying, not to erect an idol and bow down to it. The first thing is not to have any other idols before me. Go ahead and read.
You shall not make unto you any carved image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
And keep my commands. So let me ask you, what does idolatry mean to you? You tell me. What you think idolatry means? Yeah, the obvious one. Yep. What about you? What about you? Say that again. Yeah. See, that's a different answer. Worshiping a person also. See, like I said again, so idolatry is extreme love or reverence for someone or something more than Yahuwah. All right, extreme love or reverence for someone or something more than Yahuwah. All right. So we're gonna go into a few stories and get some examples, and then I want to ask some more questions to see, if we are unknowingly practicing idolatry, right? So let's go to 1 Samuel 15.
What script, Bob?
That's great. 1 Samuel, we're starting at the top, 15 and 1. Let me get this. Yeah, I'm good.
The first book of Samuel, or Shamuel, chapter 15 and verse 1. Samuel also said unto Shaul, Yahuwah hath sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore, hearken you unto the voice of the words of Yahuwah. Thus
Hold on. He said, hearken unto the voice of the words of Yahuwah. All right. Keep going. We're going to go into the law. Go ahead.
Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did unto Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not.
Spare them not. Now hold on. He's telling him to utterly destroy Amalek. Oh yeah, please cover your head. Do you have a covering? I'm sorry, that's my fault. I should have told you. Okay.
Brother, this Bible's right here. You want to read? Any of you ladies need a script? I want me to read that again for you, brother.
Yeah. Please start.
Verse 3.
You want to wait till you get there.
First Samuel.
1 Samuel 15.
Yes, sir. Third verse.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and baby, ox and sheep, camel and donkey.
Now, he's telling him to utterly destroy Amalek at this point. And the reason is because how Amalek came up against Israel in the wilderness. All right, they came up against Israel in the wilderness, attacked women and children. The Most High was furious. Later on, when the children of Israel was getting ready to go into the land, you will see, go to Deuteronomy 25 real quick. Now, this is actually written in the law that he want Amalek utterly destroyed. I think that's verse 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, or Devarim, chapter 25 and verse 17.
You there?
Chapter 25?
Yep, 25 and 17.
Verse 17.
I'm trying to make sure.
Remember what Amalek did unto you by the way, when you were come forth out of Egypt, how he met you by the way, and smote you in the hindmost of you, even all that were feeble behind you, when you were faint and weary, and he feared not Elohim. Therefore it shall be, when Yahuwah your Elohim hath given you rest from all your enemies round about in the land which Yahuwah gives you for an inheritance to possess, that you shall blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. You shall not forget it.
You shall not forget it. And surely enough, Yahuwah did not forget it. But we being human, we always forget. And it seemed as if Saul did forget, especially. So now let's go back to 1 Samuel 15 and slide down to verse 10.
Verse 10. Then came the word of Yahuwah to Samuel, saying, It repents me that I have set up Shaul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahuwah all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Shaul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Shaul came to Carmel, and behold, he set up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal.
Go down to, keep reading.
And Samuel came to Shaul, and Shaul said unto him, Blessed be you of Yahuwah. I have performed the commandment of Yahuwah.
He actually believed. So now listen, he actually believed that he performed the commandment. Now let me give you a brief overview, because we couldn't go into the whole chapter. But so Samuel gathers. Oh, okay, sorry. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Y'all hear me? Okay. Samuel gathers his men. He goes down and smites Amalek. He keeps Agag, and then he brings the spoil. Now he's professing that he actually have done the commandments of Yahuwah. So let's go back into that.
Verse 12. And Samuel arose early to meet Shaul in the morning. It was told Samuel, saying, Shaul came to Carmel, and behold, he set up him a place and is gone about, and passed on down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Shaul, and Shaul said unto him, Blessed be you of Yahuwah, I have performed the commandments of Yahuwah. And Samuel said, Then what means this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of oxen which I hear? And Shaul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people have spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahuwah your Elohim.
Now wait a minute. Now let me ask you something. The Most High told him to utterly destroy the Amalekites. So did he actually do that? Did he actually do that? No, he didn't. All right. So it seems like he's doing his own will. All right. So we're gonna see. Go ahead.
And Shaul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites, for the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahuwah your Elohim, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Shaul, Stay, and I will tell you what Yahuwah hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When you was little in your own sight, you was not made the head of the tribes of Israel. And Yahuwah anointed you king over Israel. And Yahuwah sent you on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed.
And fight until they be consumed. So, and also this is written in the law. Let me not forget that. So he didn't uphold the law, and then he was reminded of what he should do again before he actually went up against the Amalekites. So, and then he believed that he actually he actually believed that he upheld the command. So it seemed like he really is not in tune with Yahuwah's laws at this point. Go ahead, keep reading that.
And Yahuwah sent you on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then did you not obey the voice of Yahuwah, but did fly upon the spoil, and did evil in the sight of Yahuwah? And Shaul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of Yahuwah.
So he have obeyed the voice of Yahuwah. Go ahead.
And have gone the way which Yahuwah hath sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahuwah your Elohim in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Hath Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahuwah? I like that.
So it's better to obey the voice of Yahuwah than to do your own will and to sacrifice. Here, read down to verse 23. Oh, where are you at?
I'm at verse 22.
Verse 22. Read down to verse 23.
And Samuel said, Hath Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of Yahuwah? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of Yahuwah, he hath also rejected you from being king.
He has also rejected you from being king for committing idolatry. All right. And this is what that is. He did not follow the Lord. He did not remember the law, because the kings were supposed to every year write a copy of the law to themselves and meditate on the law. All right. Him being the leader of Israel, he was not in tune with the Most High's word. Right. So he did his own will. Now, how many of you, of course, and I know I've been a kid, so how many of you have received instruction from your parents and went and did your own will? Some of you are younger adults. So give me an example.
Let's say you come to the room
No.
and I waited. And I said, maybe I just didn't feel like doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
She came home and said the room wasn't clean.
Mm-hmm.
She asked why I did it. I told her, maybe I told her because I didn't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to.
What happened after that? I feel like to say.
I think you already know.
Yeah.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. Baby.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah. Have you ever received some instruction from your parents and then you went and did your own will?
Cleaned up my mother. He told me to do it when I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when I did the whole thing, then he told me to do it again, and I do it when I don't. Like, after I don't do it.
And this is your mother telling you this or your father telling you this?
Oh, you talking about?
Of your mother and father, yeah.
Like, telling me to clean my room up.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do it without.
Yeah. What about one of y'all on the back? Give me an example. A lot of stuff. Give me an example. You have an example? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, my grandmother was a disciplinarian. Like she would give me but she was fair and she would give me these tasks around the house because she had to work, but it gave me idle time to go and do what I wanted to do. I had older friends. I never really had a lot of younger friends, and they always, wanted to go do this, go get into that. And, so my time would be eaten up and, I'm given chores to do around the house. And so now here I am tired from, my dealing in the world and dealing in the street or whatever. And I come home, go to sleep, getting ready for school. My grandmother she get off at 12:30, midnight, 12 midnight, get home by 12:30. No chores done. She wake up barking at me, or she wake me up barking at me. And she sounds just like a pit bull, just whoa, 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 whoa. I'm telling you, waking me up. So I I definitely can attest to that. Just being stubborn and doing my own will versus taking heed and doing the will of those that's ahead of me. Sometimes it's happened at work where I slacked off and done those things, and then I would be, it was you get a write up, you get a verbal warning. Those type of things happen. I mean, we have to make sure that and this is just, this is on a minute level because we're talking about we're talking about idolatry, but still, we talking about still doing a will or stand and being obedient at times as well. So let's go to Acts. Go to Acts 4. Now, like I mentioned earlier, that there are different forms of idolatry. In this particular example, we're going to see that money becomes the idol. All right, money becomes the idol, and I know many times today we have family members that idolize money, whether they say they do, and I used to idolize money. I used to idolize money to the point where it led me to do certain things in the world. I mean, I was a schoolboy. Then I found myself engaging in the streets, selling crack cocaine, marijuana, just to get the money. It became like my God. And unfortunately, when you follow an idol, what rules do it really have? No. All right, they don't have any rules. The children of Israel reared up a golden calf. What laws did it give it to follow it? It gave them no laws. So it can't guide you in righteousness. All right. And in this particular case, we're going to see that money is Ananias and Sapphira's. This is their idol. They choose to do their own will. But first, we're going to start at Acts 4:32. Let me get there real quick.
And y'all get a say shalom.
Go ahead.
The Acts of the Apostles, chapter 4, and verse 32. And the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common.
Right. So they all right. So it says, and the multitude of them that believed were of one heart and of one soul. Now, let me give you a little backdrop. So what's going on is they're starting to believe on the Mashiach. And right now they're deciding to sell their possessions to help to spread the gospel. But it takes for them to sell their possessions to aid the apostles who, cost money to spread, to go into these different lands and to travel. Right. So go ahead. So they was on one accord and they wanted to make sure that they had all things in common. We started verse 33.
Verse 33. And with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Adon, Yahushua, and great grace was upon them all. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands or houses sold them, and brought the prices of the things that were sold, and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need.
Let me ask y'all now, what first of all, what is the greatest command? What is the greatest command?
Probably stop lying.
That's a commandment, but that's not the greatest command. What's the greatest command? That's a commandment, not one. That's a law.
Probably the biggest laws.
Say that again.
The biggest laws. Keep.
What?
Loving neighbor as you love yourself, or
That's the second greatest command.
or
Which
not
was,
have
thou should not have what?
any other God.
Yeah, love the Most High with all your heart and soul. Right. So yeah. So in other words, yeah. So and then the second greatest command is, like you said, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Right. So you see that here. They're making sure that the apostles have what they need, and that the brethren that believe are not lacking, or they not without. But keep what did we start?
I'm at verse 36.
36. Keep reading that. We're gonna go into something. Go ahead.
And Joseph, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite, and of the country of Cyprus, having land, sold it, and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet.
Right.
Chapter 5.
Right.
But a certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira, his wife, sold a possession, and kept back part of the price. His wife also knowing to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet.
So what right here, they conspired to only give part of the money for their possession, while the other brethren sold their possession and gave everything. So what that shows is, you see the brethren, when we read in first chapter 4 32 down to 37, how they was completely selfless. They was able to give, and the money didn't have an effect on them once they gave it. They gave it, forgot about it. But here, they conspired for whatever reason to keep it, to keep part of the money for themselves. And what happened? They end up giving, they sold the possession and gave and kept part of the money for themselves. Yeah. Oh, okay. What is that? Deuteronomy what?
Chapter 8 and verse 18. Just to show it in the law what he's saying. It says, but you shall remember Yahuwah your Elohim, for it is he that gives you the power to get wealth, which he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto your fathers, as it is this day. So it was a lack of faith that they didn't give all their money, because they didn't trust that Yah was going to provide the rest of the things that they had sold.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. What we at? Verse 5 and 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But Peter said, Ananias, why hath Satan filled your heart to lie to the Ruach HaKodesh and to keep back part of the price of the land? While it remained, was it not your own? And after it was sold, was it not in your own power? Why have you conceived this thing in your heart? But you have not lied unto men, but unto Yah.
All right, so he lied. You have not lied unto men, but unto Yah. All right, because Peter was dealing with the Holy Spirit. He was the head of the church. All right, keep reading.
Verse 5, and Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost. And great fear came on all of those that heard these things. And the young men arose, wound him up, and carried him out and buried him.
Wow. All right. It's a bad thing to fall into the hands of Yah. Keep reading.
And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, tell me whether you sold the land for so much. And she said, yes, for so much.
So now she's lying to the Holy Spirit. All right, she's lying to the Holy Spirit. All right, and Peter gave her a chance to come clean as well. So, go. Where you at?
Then Peter said unto her, how is it that you have agreed together to test the Ruach of the Master? Behold, the feet of them which have buried your husband are at the door, and shall carry you out. Then she fell down straightway at his feet, and yielded up the ghost. And the young man came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth, buried her by her husband.
Buried her by her husband. So it's never good to lie to the Most High. All right, and this is what they did. Peter was dealing with the Holy Spirit. He had insight on the fact that they conspired to keep back part of the money so that they can go and spread the gospel. And the Ruach, I mean, you can't lie to the Ruach. The Most High took them out. So that was just an example of how money can be an idol. All right, they didn't have faith, like the brother brought out, in that the Most High would return those funds that they was given to spread the gospel, because we remember Mashiach said that those that give up everything, some will receive tenfold and 100-fold and stuff like that. So I mean, why would they not have? They just showed that they didn't have faith. All right, and for that, I'm good. I'm done. Do you all have any questions?
Y'all understand the premise of it, or it wasn't clear, or?
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom. You hit everything that you wanted to hit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You want to?
There was a couple of precepts I was thinking of when I was going through it.